Welcome to the Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled to have you here today. You know that feeling when you're just staring at a blinking cursor in ChatGPT, trying to figure out how to get it to actually do what you want? Well, if you've ever been there, you are definitely in the right place. Today, our goal is simple but incredibly powerful. We're going to transform you from an AI novice into a totally confident pro. And we're doing this by decoding the perfect step-by-step prompt formula. By the time we wrap up this explainer, you're going to have a rock-solid, structured system to get precisely what you need from AI every single time. So, here is our step-by-step journey today. First, the 6-part prompt formula. Second, the mandatory foundation, task. Third, shaping output, context and examples. Fourth, fine-tuning, persona and format. Fifth, setting the mood, tone. And finally, number 6, the ultimate comprehensive prompt. Before we dive into the solution, let's talk about the universal frustration here. Why is it that some prompts generate incredibly generic, honestly useless outputs, while others just give you exactly what you need on the very first try? I mean, if you've spent any time at all with large language models, you know exactly what I mean, right? You ask it to write an email, and it ends up sounding like a robot reading a dictionary. It's just a massive waste of time. But the difference between a frustrating experience and a totally magical one, it doesn't come down to luck. It comes down to structure.
Section 1, the 6-part prompt formula.
Okay, let's dive into this. Think of this formula like a mental checklist. We've got 6 components: task, context, exemplars, persona, format, and tone. Now, the real secret sauce here, the hierarchy. You literally don't need all 6 of these every single time. The task is mandatory. You gotta have it. Next up is the important layer. That's context and exemplars, which drastically improves your results. And finally, the nice-to-have layer, persona, format, and tone, which really just adds that final polish. Whenever you write a prompt, just run down this mental checklist to make sure you're including just enough of the right information.
Section 2, the mandatory foundation, task.
The absolute golden rule for your task is to always start the sentence with a strong action verb. Think words like generate, give, write, or analyze. And then, immediately after that verb, clearly articulate your end goal. So for example, instead of just saying workouts, you'd want to say, give me a 3-month training program for a 70-kilogram male. It can be a simple task like that, or even a really complex multi-step one, like analyze hundreds of user feedback rows, share the top 3 takeaways, and categorize them. The main takeaway here is that this is your mandatory foundation. It's what gives the AI its core directive.
Section 3, shaping output, context and examples.
Now, context can be a little tricky because technically you could give the AI an infinite amount of background information. But to keep from totally overwhelming it, just ask yourself these 3 specific questions. What is the user's background? What does success look like? And what environment are they in? So if we build on our workout example from a minute ago, you might add, I'm looking to put on 5 kilos of muscle mass over the next 3 months. I only have time to go to the gym twice a week for 1 hour each session. That right there is the absolute perfect amount of context. It perfectly constrains the AI's possibilities without bogging it down with unnecessary details, like, how you want to look good for your Instagram photos.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is this second part of shaping your output, using exemplars, which honestly is just a fancy word for examples. Research actually backs this up. Including examples within your prompt drastically improves the quality of the output. A really fantastic way to do this is by giving the AI a structural framework. Say you are prepping for a job interview and you need a good answer for what's your biggest weakness. Just tell the AI to use the STAR framework: situation, task, action, and result. You don't even need to write out a full essay as an example. Just giving it that specific structural framework forces the AI to organize its thoughts super professionally.
Section 4, fine-tuning, persona and format. Persona is all about telling the AI exactly who you want it to be. The absolute best way to think about this is to imagine the specific expert you wish you had instant access to for whatever problem you're dealing with. If you tweaked your shoulder working out, ask the AI to act as a physical therapist who's experienced helping athletes recover. Or if you're on the job hunt, tell it to be a hiring manager. Giving the AI a persona like this instantly shifts its vocabulary and its entire perspective to match the best practices of that specific industry. And hey, personas do not just have to be dry, boring professionals. You can actually have a ton of fun with this. There's this brilliant example from our source material where a creator was hosting a superheroes-themed team offsite and needed to send out an email. So he prompted the AI to adopt the persona of Batman.
It drafted this incredibly fun email that naturally wove in quirky in-character details like, please let Alfred know, and even signed off as The Dark Knight. Using fictional characters or really highly specific personas is just an amazing way to instantly inject creativity into your output. Next up in our fine-tuning layer is format. The tip here is super simple, but man, is it effective. Literally close your eyes and visualize exactly how you want the final result to look on your screen. Are you looking for bullet points? Do you need a code block? How about paragraphs with H2 section headers? The point is, don't leave it up to the AI to guess how you want the information presented. Tell it exactly how to format the data so you can grab it and use it immediately.
And this brilliantly illustrates the power of formatting. Imagine you've got this massive block of user feedback that you need to analyze. Instead of just asking for a generic summary, you visualize a spreadsheet. So you prompt the AI, output a table with 3 headers: original feedback, team responsible, and priority. And the AI generates exactly that. Now you can literally just highlight that table, copy it, and paste it straight into a Google Sheet to sort and filter. By specifying the format upfront, you are saving yourself an incredible amount of manual, tedious formatting work later on. Section 5. Setting the mood. Tone.
So conceptually, tone is pretty easy to grasp. You know if you want the output to be formal or casual, enthusiastic or witty. But practically speaking, it's actually really difficult. I mean, how do you pick the absolute perfect adjective or adverb when there are thousands of potential choices? When you're just sitting there at your keyboard typing, it is genuinely hard to recall the exact tone keyword you need at a moment's notice to get that nuance just right.
So here is a highly effective, super clever hack for you. Make the AI do the heavy lifting. Describe the vibe or the feeling you're going for to ChatGPT, and then just ask it for the keywords. For instance, you could say, hey, I'm writing an email to a new team. I want to be taken seriously, but I definitely don't want to come off as stuck up or cringy. Can you please give me a list of 5 tone keywords I can include in a prompt? The AI will then hand you the exact professional adjectives you need, stuff like clear and concise or friendly yet confident, which you can then turn right around and plug into your actual prompt. It is such an amazing little shortcut. Section 6, the ultimate comprehensive prompt. Okay, let's move to and see how this all builds together. We've covered our entire checklist: task, context, exemplars, persona, format, and tone. Now let's look at the massive differences makes in practice. A generic, lazy approach might just be, I just launched a new product, the Apple Car. I received 12,000 pre-orders. Please write an email to my boss with this update. You can guess that output is going to be incredibly generic. But watch what happens when we apply our step-by-step formula. Persona, you are a senior product marketing manager at Apple. Context, you just unveiled the Apple Car and received 12,000 pre-orders. Task, writing email to your boss, Tim Cookie, sharing this positive news. Format, include a TLDR, project background, business results, and a thank you section. Tone, use clear and concise language in a confident yet friendly tone.
So the really crucial point here is how these specific details fundamentally change what you get back. In that master prompt, we included one really vital piece of context. We noted that those 12,000 pre-orders are exactly 200% higher than our target. When you combine that rich, highly specific context with a defined persona and an exact format layout, the AI's output isn't just a block of text anymore, it's a highly specific, perfectly structured internal corporate email that you can use immediately. The difference here isn't magic, folks. It's literally just following the formula, layer by layer. And that brings us to the end of our explainer journey today. You are officially no longer someone who stares at a blank screen wondering what to type. You've got the hierarchy locked in: task, context, exemplars, persona, format, and tone. You know exactly how to structure your inputs to perfectly constrain the AI and guide it right to the perfect output. So, my final question for you today is this. Now that you have this step-by-step master formula in your toolkit, what complex problem are you going to solve with your very first master prompt? Thank you so much for joining me today, and hey, happy prompting!